Everyone, welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you a really fantastic website that if you are not aware of it, it is going to change the way you create and draw. So as you can see there, it is called Webchemy, and it was made off of a program years ago that was called Alchemy, as you can see down here in this YouTube video. And I suggest you watch the video and you check out the user gallery, but I'm going to go ahead and click on Start Drawing. So it's meant to be very minimalist interface, and that's exactly what it is. The only tools are this bar up here. So you have basically your primary and secondary color. So when I start drawing, you'll notice that I'm in a symmetry mode or a mirror mode. And so this first one is just kind of a filled-in shape brush, and it's really cool. And the whole idea of what this this app does is that it lets the design come to you, kind of like a Rorschach test, or looking up at clouds and you ask everybody, what do you see? So probably the most important hotkey is the letter X, and that does, it switches to the secondary colors. So now I'm drawing with white. So you can either think of that as erasing, or I like to tell my students that it's like I'm carving out of the black here. And I usually just start off with doing just some quick flicks of the wrist, almost trying to make it as movement based or rhythmic as I can, just making some little scraps until I see something. So and then once I get an idea, like right now I'm seeing kind of horns here, kind of like goat horns, and so now I could go ahead, and if I like that idea, then I could go ahead and start to figure this out. So maybe it's some sort of goat creature, I don't know. And you just press X and then you carve away and you see what you come up with. And if you don't like it, you can just take your primary color, your secondary color, and you can just kind of carve it away. And then there you go. So just be open to possibilities, and don't fall in love with it, because you can always go back on that. Okay. So moving on, when you come up here and you click on the toolbar, this is the tool that I'm using right now. This is the shapes. Over here on the left-hand side, you have the two different axes for mirroring. So right now I'm on mirror horizontal, but I can also do mirror vertical, and you'll see that it will switch. Okay, I don't use that very often. And you can also click them both off, and then you can just freely draw. If I want to just clear my canvas, I just come up here and click on the little folded paper icon, and then right here you see it says clear. If you click on the little arrow and then you tap on the word clear, you'll clear to black, or you can go ahead and clear to white. Okay, so now I'm drawing and I have no mirror function turned on, and so it's just free draw. So now it looks really nice and fluid, and you can just kind of press X every once in a while and just sort of carve away until you see something that you like. It looks and feels very much like Miro. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn back on Mirror. Couple other interesting things here, just moving along here. You can turn on splats, and so if you do that, now you're going to get these really kind of erratic, sharp shapes. Again, sort of creating through chaos and randomness. So I'm just pressing X every once in a while and just sort of carving away. So you get some sharp shapes. You can also turn on the gradient feature. This is really handy for adding in shadows and soft details and things like that. Again, kind of carving away. Now I've got more white, and so you can add in some fades. Really great for things like if I wanted to do wings, you know, I could do wings like that, feeling a little bit more insect-like, and I could kind of carve away there. So it just adds in a lot of really interesting interesting details that you don't normally have as much control about. You of course can change the opacity right here of your brush. If I turn off that, you'll see that I'm drawing now with a 50% opaque brush, which is cool. Not a gradient, but just lowering the opacity just to get that in there. Okay, finishing up. You've got 3 different kinds of brushes over here. So you've got the just the stroke only, in which case you're going to get just a line there. And again, here it is in black. So that one doesn't interest me as much. I don't find as much use for it. To me, it feels a lot like just a normal pen, although I kind of like some of these delicate little details that I'm adding in there. It's adding in some really interesting textures. So that's kind of cool. You can change the size of the brush, so I can thicken it up and add in some greater weight. You can then also combine adding in a gradient, and so now I'm adding in a gradient on those lines, so that's kind of an extra nice detail. And again, cut away with the white. I really have no idea what this is, but I'm having fun. Let's see, we've got the solid brush stroke right there in the middle, and then the last one, this is one of my favorites. This is a pull shape. So I'm just going to clear so you can see. I'm going to turn off the gradient feature. Okay, so this brush here is pulling shapes. Let me, and you'll see that it just pulls these fantastic, weird shapes. Again, compress X and just kind of carve away. Come back up here, turn on the gradient feature, and bring in some really great details. Just a mess. X to again pull away. I like leaving little bits and scraps around. I find that you get some really interesting things, and I like going near the edges and just kind of eroding and letting it kind of pull away. So you can't really tell what some of these things are anymore. Play around with the opacity slider there, just so you can get some really, really faint, delicate details in there. And you can kind of just build up. Yeah, it takes a little longer, but you can build up. So almost looks like a ornamental helmet, possibly a spaceship of some kind. Okay, you do have, if you come up to the 3 dots here, you can zoom out, you can zoom in, you can undo. I would challenge yourself to not do any undos and just be in the moment. But those are all of the settings there. You just have to really play around with them and then see what you can make. Speaking of, when you are done making something, you have 2 options. You can do PNG, which all of my students are doing, or you can do SVG, which is Scalable Vector Graphics. And then you can take it into another app like Photoshop or Paint Tool Sci or Krita, some other paint app that you are really happy with. Okay, I hope this helps you out, and you can definitely go onto YouTube and type in Webchemy speed paint or time-lapse video, and you can see some really, really, really cool stuff. And again, the purpose of this app is that it's an idea generator, and the idea comes to you from the subconscious, not you bringing the idea to the paper. So I hope this helps you out, and I hope you have some fun.